Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about my very first medium format camera, the Yashica-a. Alright friends, here it is, the Yashica-a. This camera is fantastic. I found this guy on Facebook Marketplace for, I think it was like 200 bucks, somewhere around there, or like 180. And shout out to Shaheen. That guy is the GOAT. He is the guy I bought this camera from. And it's so cool to see how connected the film community is, because he and I were just chatting and hanging out most of the time. And you know what? He's actually going to be sending me some film that he found while he was out in Spain. And I'm going to do a video on it, so y'all can go ahead and thank him. Hit him up on Instagram. I'll tag him below. His work is pretty good as well. This Yashica-a, this is a TLR camera, so it stands for Twin Lens Reflex, and it's got two lenses. One is for viewing, one is for taking. So both of these lenses are 80 millimeters at 3.5. Obviously the taking lens, you can change it all the way down to 22, but the wide open for both is 3.5. And for me, 3.5 works just fine. I believe there's another model out there that is a 2.8. Overall, this camera is fantastic. Fully mechanical, no batteries, no electronics, no nothing. So you don't have to really worry about anything crapping out on you as long as you take care of the mechanics in this. The first learning curve using a twin lens reflex was that when you're looking through the taking lens, everything is backwards because of the mirror. So when you turn right looking down on this thing, it looks like everything's going left. After shooting with it for a little bit, I have been able to quickly compose my images, even though it is sort of backwards in a sense. The cool thing about this is it also has a pop-up little mirror right there, so that way I can do some critical focusing, because if you try to focus with just the screen down here, you're gonna miss focus probably 9 out of 10 times. So the next learning curve I had to learn on this guy would be actually advancing the film. So as you can see, there are two knobs on this side. One is the focus knob, which really just moves the lenses, which is really neat. And then this knob here is to advance the film. So it only goes forward, can't actually rotate it back the other way. And that's something really important to note. So if you mess up while you're advancing your film, because that's how it advances, you can't go back. So that is something you got to be really diligent about. So make sure that you practice with your camera before you end up putting film in it. That's what I did, and I still made mistakes, so it's just going to take a while. The other thing about this camera that is interesting and that kind of scares me a little bit is that this is how you open and close it. So you'll see that this thing up here will move up, and then this whole back just pops right out like that. And then you set your film in right here, and then you pull it all the way, put it right up in that guy, and then you rotate it till the arrow. So we're going to get into the shutter speeds of this camera. So it has 5 shutter speeds. It has bulb, 1/125th of a second, 1/50th, 1/100th, and 1/300th of a second. And that was kind of standard for these cameras. I think a lot of the other ones, the newer models, go up to 1/500th of a second, I believe. But for the most part, 1/300th is going to do the job. The thing about the bulb, that it's nice that it has bulb, but at the same time, this is the only way to release the shutter, which, by the way, you do have to cock it like that first. And as you notice, it's just like a flat little peg that you push down. And the thing that is kind of a bummer about the bulb mode is that you can't attach a standard cable shutter release system to it. But I heard that they also make cable release specifically for this. It's like flat on the end instead of like a little pin, and it pushes that guy down. And the final note about this camera that a lot of people don't like about most TLR cameras is that it is a 6x6. I actually really like the 6x6. I haven't found a photo that I took with the 6x6 that I wish I had a 6x7 or 645 format with. Maybe when I was in Italy, but other than that, the 6x6 works great for me, and overall just makes nice sounds. So now that I've talked briefly about this camera, let's jump right into the video and you guys can just watch and experience this photo walk with me. So in this video, we're starting with color positive films. I believe he gave me the Ektachrome 100 and he's using the Fuji Velvia 100. And to be honest, I don't know a lot about slide film, color positive film. I've never shot it before. So this is actually going to be my first time shooting it, and it's not even going to be processed with the proper chemicals. Anyways, we loaded it up and we just got to shooting. I didn't know the medium format numbers on were going to be technically sideways for me, because in most cameras it's going to go this way, but for mine it goes up and down. So you can hear me talking here, but I go to the 1 and I'm like, is that a 1? Because it's just a line. So I say, okay, whatever. I go past it and there's the 2.
Oh, fuck.
Bro, you're good.
Guys, I just
So boom, already wasted 1 shot. But hey, 6x6 cameras, they get 12 shots on a standard 120 roll of film. So I still had more shots available than Nate did in his Pentax, which can only take 10, I believe.
literally 30 seconds ago I said that I was not going to waste a shot, and I already did loading it. Granted, it's sideways, because I guess like on his camera it should be this way, but for me I thought it was just a line. So anyway, I still have more shots than he does. Haha.
I won. That's actually pretty cool. Hold on. Alright. I'm gonna give you like a sunny 16 meter. 125th at f8.
The first photo that I took, I misunderstood what Nate was saying about the metering. He was saying f8 at 1/125th of a second. I thought he said f8 at 1/25th of a second. So I don't even have that image. So he actually developed all of these and scanned them for me, but it was completely blown out and there was nothing there. So I don't have that image.
No, 1/125th.
Okay, well I shot that at 1/25th.
Oh, really?
So that's just gonna be right.
Yeah, that's gonna be overexposed. You can retake it if you want.
Onward and upward.
Onwards and upwards. Not as exciting as his. His sounds nice. Get this guy out of here. Doesn't know what he's talking about. I already forgot my metering.
Isn't that just relatable though?
He has
You
a
know?
meter, and then they.
They're like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, just like me.
With this lens, I'm not loving it. I'm gonna pass. He already took it anyways.
Yeah, good choice.
you've probably noticed right now, but these images look a little wonky. Like the highlights are really green and then the shadows are really purpley, like magenta color. And I think that has to do with the cross processing of the color positive with the C41 chemical process. And I think some people really like this look. It makes them look really old, like vintage images. I think it's a cool experiment, but I probably wouldn't do it again. But I mean, let me know what you guys think.
It's what a great day to shoot regular film.
Yeah, I know.
So even though most of the Ektachrome 100 images I didn't like, which is unfortunate because it's a really expensive roll of film, my favorite photo was definitely this one with the house and those flowers in the foreground. If I had taken that on a color negative film, they would have looked even better, but I didn't have it loaded at the time, and I still think that this is a pretty decent image overall, especially composition-wise.
Chickens are in the dark, so didn't get them. Seems to happen all the time. Okay.
We're filming each other take photos.
They better turn on nice.
Isn't it funny how many people talk to you when you have a camera?
Yeah.
Just because you have a camera? No.
I got my own mic.
Yeah, that's good timing.
What did you say when that dude asked if we were filming his wife's ass?
I said, I got my own wife. I got
Bars.
him good. Got him good. I'm not gonna shoot that. That's a bunch of garbage right there.
Trash.
This man's trash.
Wait, hold on a second.
Another man's treasure. Garbage.
See, after
The last image that I took on the Ektachrome 100 is this portrait in A, and I think it is my second favorite photo of all of the color positive images that I took. Just look at the guy. Just look at him. It's a handsome man right there.
All right, now if I see anything remotely resembling a 1, I'm going to stop. I guess it's a dot.
Is it a dot?
Just play it safe and go with the dot. And if for whatever reason there's a 1 later on, hey.
Do you wanna like check on YouTube or just like do a quick Google search?
No, I don't got time for that. The sun is fleeting.
But yet again, another loading error, because the first one I loaded was Kodak, and this one I'm loading is Fuji. So while I was, while I was advancing the film, it came to a big dot, and I didn't know if the dot was Fuji's way of saying, hey, you made it, that's your first image. That was wrong. Yes, that's definitely not it, but I just played like safe, I guess, and stayed there. So here's the first image. It's like half and half, double exposure almost. It was a really nice photo. If I had actually gotten the whole thing, it would have been really nice, but I decided to not retake it because there is always something else that you are going to enjoy. This one it's not my favorite, but I have to say it's probably the perfect photo out of all the photos that I took. Just the way the townhomes and the empty parking lot kind of, I don't know, I just think it's a perfect photo. But there's another one in here that is definitely my favorite, and we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, a little bush is good. Makes the tree look bigger.
This photo right here is by far my favorite from the roll, and I'm still trying to figure out why. I just think the light is super nice. I don't really know how to explain it. I just know that I love it. But I think y'all can attest to that feeling where you take a photo and you can't really explain why you love it so much or why it's your favorite, but you're just really drawn to it.
I got it.
No.
Yes. Weirdest encounters happen when you're out taking photos. That's all I gotta say.
So at the beginning of this video, I talked about how I didn't want to make like any film mistakes or mess up one image or loading or anything like that. It was the first thing I did, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be the last thing I do as well. Here is my first true double exposure, because like I said, this camera is all manual. In order to take an image, all you have to do is cock the shutter. It doesn't advance the film. Those are two separate things, and it doesn't look bad, but obviously it wasn't intentional, so there's no rhyme or reason to it per se. But the color's nice. Once I realized I did that, I advanced the film, and then I took both of those images again separately, and I really like them. So those were the last images of the Fuji Pro 400H, and then we were done for the day. The sun was going down. Overall experience with this Yashica-a A+. It's an amazing camera. I can highly recommend this. If you're looking to get into medium format for the first time and you want a cheap camera that is just not heavy or overbearing or anything like that, go with the TLR. They're great first cameras, and they're affordable, which is the important part. Go ahead and leave a comment below of what image was your favorite, and let me know if you shoot medium format, what medium format camera is your favorite that you've shot on or that you want to shoot on. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out. You guys are absolutely killing it. We only had 30 subscribers, and over the last 3-4 weeks we're at over 100. So thank you guys so very much. It is quite an honor that you would subscribe to my channel and listen to me talk about my experience with film. The next video that I'm going to be working on is going to be my video on Kodak Gold, and that one is going to be a special video because I shot all of these images in Italy, so stay tuned for that video. But until then, goodbye.